we're here to bring you the player ratings of Arsenal 3, Man United 1. United went ahead to lose their second game away from home. Very, very, very horrible. Looks like we've gone ahead to play the first two teams out of the 9 in the top half, and we've gone ahead to lose to them. Now the big question is, will we win against Man City? Will we win against Liverpool, Chelsea, which other? Aston Villa, Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, and so on and so forth, because the top half is really trying to take shape, and United is 11th with 4 games played. And I know after the 10th game, this table would have gone ahead to get or take what we call a perfect shape. That is it. So, good morning. Welcome to this channel, United Matters channel. I know there are those that are still mourning about the loss, but guys, that's the game of football. That's what football brings on the table, and you need to understand that that's what we do on a daily basis to bring you what happened during what game. Now, let's go exactly to what this is all about, and it's what we are talking about. Arsenal 3, United 1. Let's do the player ratings. We thank God for the gift of life. To the Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barakallahu fikum, and may Allah grant you abundantly. Not so? Now, start up with Antony. To me, he was one of the best players on the field of play. Every time he was needed to make a save, he made it, especially that save of Bukayo Saka that denied him a goal. You know, he really did all his endeavors very well. And trust me, when you look at that possession, Arsenal having 55 and us having 45 in the end of the game, it shows you that Antony played a very huge part, because he could get that ball and obviously knock it around, because he's a press-resistant player and very much comfortable on the ball. He was used as the reference to see to it that Arsenal's primary press doesn't even affect us. And when you look at how Arsenal are pressing, it was really evident that they feared even to approach Antony because they knew how good he was on the ball, and he went through to put in some good passes, and I think him and Eriksen had the best number of passes on the field of play as we took on Arsenal. So I'm giving him a 7 out of 10 for me. That's what I'm giving this lad known as Andre Onana. He really put in a very brilliant performance, and I believe he's obviously going to go ahead and obviously do the needful. So after that, we go to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Oh my God. You know, when you lose, some good performances are just shadowed and not even remembered, and people don't give them credit. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka closed down that line very well. I think the only catastrophe that would have gone ahead to go and obviously affect him was the penalty call in the 18 yards box area of United in the second half. I think it was the 53rd minute there on Kai Havertz, and the referee really reverted it and said, no, it's not a penalty. After VAR came out and obviously called for him to go on the side monitor, and he confirmed that it was not a clear penalty and it was cancelled. That is it. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 7.5 for me. That's what I'm going to give him. Diego Dallo. Put respect to the name of this guy. When I was doing a live stream towards the start of this game, I saw some United fans telling me that Dallo is going to be really roasted by Bukayo Saka. I told you guys, Dallo is good defensively. People just don't have a good picture of this guy, but he's a very good player when it comes to doing his defensive duties, and in the offensive area, he also puts in the shift that most of us really desire and call to have. That is Diego Dallo for you, and I'm giving him a 7.5 out of 10. Instead of Saka roasting him, he instead pocketed Bukayo Saka. So he did a very good job. Lisandro Martinez, obviously one of the best players on the field of play, controlling that ball and knocking it around with Andre Onana, Lindelof, and Dallo, because they're press-resistant players to give us possession. To an extent that in the first half, we had 55% a lion's share of the possession, and Arsenal had 45. Though that was possible because we had players who could knock that ball around in our half, and Arsenal couldn't press us through because all what we wanted was them to obviously come and press us, and after them pressing us, we hit that long ball to create space for Marcus Rashford or Antony to tear them apart. That is it, and I'm giving Lisandro Martinez a 7.5 out of 10. Lindelof really did great apart from that howler where he got a yellow card, having misread the flight of the ball, and the ball kept onto the field of play. Eddie Nketiah passed him up, but Lindelof did the needful, and that's what we call a professional foul, because that would have gone ahead to result into a goal, and he stopped it there, and we ended the first half 1-1. Lindelof, 7 out of 10 for me, but there is something wrong with our defenders, and the fitness of these players needs to be questioned, because you lose out Lisandro Martinez because he had gassed out, and Lindelof, he's taken off the field of play because he had gassed out. I've seen people saying that, why do you take off Lindelof? Guys, I saw him holding his knees and folding himself at halftime, around the half hour mark. The guy was burnt out. What's wrong with these players of Man United? I don't know what's wrong with them. Some of them cannot play 90 minutes, So we have to obviously see what's the cause of this, and obviously get to know what the manager is going to do about this beautiful team of Man United. That is Lindelof. I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. Then I go to Casemiro. He did his job. And Ten Hag just made a very big shift, by the way, into that team. As it was a double pivot, he used Eriksen as a sitting midfielder because he knows Eriksen is good at receiving that ball. And he played Casemiro onto the right side of Eriksen and Bruno onto the left. And I think this is the system that we are going to play when Sofian Amrabat comes in through. Sofian Amrabat is going to act as a sitting midfielder into that team. That is it. And Casemiro is going to play on his right, and Eriksen will be playing on his left, especially when you're playing big teams and you're playing away from home, like at Etihad, Anfield, and Stamford Bridge, St. James's Park. I think that's the system that Erik Ten Hag is going to adopt, and Sofian Amrabat comes into that team immediately. Even if Kobe Menu comes in through, I think that will be the format of how United is going to be playing into this beautiful game of football. And I can't wait to see us having a bench. I can't wait us to be having a bench of Mason Mount, Kobe Menu, Anton Martial or Rasmus Højlund, and who else? I can't wait to have that bench. Garnacho, because we're obviously having some good players obviously coming through and make a very huge shift. In that midfield, Eriksen looked excellent when it burned out, and we had no player to bring on. If Kobe Menu was there, I think would have gone ahead to come in through and obviously put some energy into that midfield and obviously win some battles in there for you and put in some passes. The other player was Sofian Amrabat. If Sofian Amrabat was here, it would have been a beautiful game of football together. Casemiro, he played very well. He released Rasmus Højlund in the second half. He controlled the game, and he had all the battles to win. Interceptions made of Casemiro were really huge, and I still think he put in a very huge performance, and I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. Eriksen, guys, to me, no one can convince me that there was a player who really did a better job on the day than Eriksen. No one did a better job on the day than Eriksen. That is it. So we put Eriksen to an 8 out of 10. The assist, line-breaking passes, the interception he makes to obviously create that first goal. Eriksen had that game at his feet. The control that we had, Eriksen was the mastermind of it. He crafted out everything in favor of Man United and gave us the required bits that had to obviously move us to the next level. So Christian Eriksen for me, 8 out of 10. Nothing required. You can add, but no minus. That is it. And I think if at all he had another player to come on through, he reached the next one and was really tired and couldn't really continue and couldn't run. That is Christian Eriksen for you. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes, 6.5 out of 10. I think he never imposed himself onto this game. Not really. But his work rate was really huge. But the only time I saw him really important to the team going forward, when he won, that was when he released Anton Martial in the 53rd minute. And Anton Martial forced Aaron Ramsdale to make a near post save. That is it. So 6.5 out of 10 for me. We go to Antony. To me, he was the worst player in the field of play. I'm giving him a 6 out of 10. No, 5.5 out of 10. I'm giving Antony a 5.5 out of 10 because to me, he was the worst player on the field of play. That is it. He was the worst player on the field of play, and his worstness was seen by everyone. I saw even Ian write that, why does Erik ten Hag keep picking Antony ahead of players like Garnacho and Jadon Sancho? Yet he has shown us that he is not going to do things that we require him to do. And in certain games, you need to obviously put him out of the game and obviously start players that are really direct and going to get you to the levels that we really want. But obviously, you know that Ten Hag loves Antony. You know, he's a player that he has failed to bench amongst other players that he signed. That is it. He has benched Lisandro Martinez, Malacia, Eriksson, Casemiro has been benched. Which other player? Because he first brought Malacia, Eriksson, Lisandro Martinez, Antony, and Casemiro. But he's not benching that player. And I think we are going to get the same scenario with Mason Mount, and that is going to look ugly. That is it. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But I'm giving him a 5.5 out of 10. Rashford Marcus, 7 out of 10 for me. Scoring that goal and obviously trying to create damage to Arsenal onto that right side of Ben White. He just roasted him. That's it. Every time he wanted to go past Ben White, he could easily go past him. That is Marcus Rashford. I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. Then Anton Martial, 6.5 out of 10. He was out of the game because they never really fed him a lot. And the only time they fed him a lot was in the 53rd minute when he registered that shot on target for Man United. Those are the few shots we got, and it shows you how bad we looked into transition as a team because our centre forward was not obviously fed into a lot. But it shows you the huge difference between Anton Martial and Rasmus Højlund, meaning that these players are obviously different. When you look at Rasmus Højlund, we came on through, he has the energy to fight, he's lightning quick, and he has a skill set. You know, it's like getting Anton Martial and adding some huge pace and energy onto him. That's what Rasmus Højlund offers. And I think having these strikers with us is really going to be so much important to obviously take us to where we want to be as a club of Man United. And I think Rasmus Højlund is obviously going to start ahead of Anton Martial in very many games this season because he has shown us something different that he gives to this club as we obviously play against them. So I'm giving Anton Martial 6.5 out of 10. Then Rasmus Højlund came on through. I think I'm giving him a 7. He gave us more presence in the final third. Those long balls, taking on Gabriel Magalhaes, fighting, that strength, you know, that back heel he does to, is it Marcus Rashford to release Garnacho to obviously score that goal that was really ruled out because of offside that Ten Hag says was onside. So lots of things he did. That penalty call that Gabriel Magalhaes just rounds his hand through his waist and puts him down. He was there for just 30 minutes, but he caused a lot of trouble to the defense of Arsenal, and I think he's going to cause trouble to very many teams into the league. So let's wait and see how that happens, but obviously we'll wait and see how things really happen. So I'm giving Rasmus Højlund a 7 out of 10. The other one, Garnacho, 7 out of 10 for me. He had his chance, took it, but VAR had its turn to play into cancelling out that goal. Then Evans, 6 out of 10. Harry Maguire, 6 out of 10. You see to it that Harry Maguire and Evans at least were better than Antony. My man of the match is Eriksson. The manager, Erik ten Hag, 6.5 out of 10. Yeah. Let me give him 7 because he had all the plan to beat Arsenal, but he never had a bench. He never had a bench. So guys, your thoughts on the player ratings are welcome in the comment section below. Rock and David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Ciao, ciao.